Secrets.org, the answer to all your burning questions.
You guys have been awesome all weekend, and we're ready to bring them out. First off, Anjali Bimani. Let's see, Bo Billingsley. Erica Hardlicker.
Yeah!
Mary Elizabeth McGlynn.
Makoto!
Brina Palencia.
Yeah! Higuchi!
Mark Swint. And we're going to have Bill Rogers eventually, but he's running late today.
And we're gonna make
Dang
him
it,
walk
Brock.
all the way across the stage to come to this chair.
A little tiny chair, so you just gonna see his head, just like that.
That's his punishment. Hi guys. Hello. So we do not have an moderator again. Good morning.
Oh, it's just us.
It's just us again. So who in this room is not yet awake? Gotcha. Totally understand. I think you're all. Did you guys have an amazing time last night?
Yeah!
There was so much stuff going on. It was like all of the partying in Orleans was concentrated onto this 3-floor area. It was awesome. You could hear it all the way upstairs. It was dope. And I'm a basso profondo today because of it. Would you guys like to ask questions to start with? Did you want to jump in? Let's do it. Let's do it. Although I'll tell you what, I'll start getting my exercise. I'm going to share mics. I'm just going to run down so people can hear your question. I'm going to moderate in high heels. That's right, bitches. And what's your name, handsome?
Oh, Sergei Kid. Oh, I'm new for May. Oh, how new I'm engaged. What happened to the other one? He was there, what happened to him?
To my ex-husband?
Yeah, to me.
What?
I don't know what you mean.
I was married to Darren Norris.
Yeah, that's what I mean,
Darren and I are
yes.
still great friends. He's amazing. He's wonderful. But sometimes love ain't enough. I don't know. I mean, just things happen. And we parted, and now Steve and I are together, and Darren has a new partner. We're going to train. Life goes on. It's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go. This mic is so live. I know. Look how far away from
I can
this
hear
mic
your
is.
heartbeat.
It's far away.
There's a question behind
Yes,
you.
it's a stethoscope.
Yeah, probably from there you can go.
I was just wondering what each and every one of you does. If you like some good places to
Oh, we should introduce ourselves.
We're the cast of Lost. I played John Locke. I was in a wheelchair for most of the show.
What? I've been here the whole time. He's under the table.
Stop praising Earth Joy.
We didn't introduce ourselves yet, so you're
Perfect. You're right on time.
We're waiting for you.
Yeah, you are.
You get to go first now.
Yeah, go.
That's what we got. This mic is wildly live.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stand back here. Well, this building is like hobbits. You could wander the halls for 100 years and still never find your panel room. Hey, so I'm Bill Rogers. You may know me as the voice of Brock in Pokemon, Urian in Street Fighter, King of Hyrule in Breath of the Wild, Beliaron and Hunter x Hunter, anime, video games, all that good stuff. Happy to be here. Hey, everybody.
Hi, I'm Anjali Bimani, and I'm the voice of Symmetra in Overwatch, and Misha in Fallout 4, and Stingray from Real Life Frontier, which you can watch on Project Alpha. I've said this all weekend long. He says if Critical Role in The Walking Dead had a baby, this is our show. So if you're into RPGs, check it out, and then a bunch of TV and other stuff.
I'm Bo Billingsley. You might know me as the voice of Jet Black, Cowboy Bebop, Raikage in Naruto, Barrett Ross in Final Fantasy, Advent Children,
and a number of other things, the Ra-Ra-Ra-2, the Ra-Ra-Ra-Ra-Ra-2, Hunter x Hunter, Count of Monte Cristo, and this and that and this and that. And I have 3 commercials running on television now.
Yes.
And Star Trek Into Darkness and Star Trek Continues, and you're living in my dream.
Hi, I'm Erica. Harlequin. Yeah, I should specify. I am on in Persona 5, Kurapika, Hunter x Hunter, Elizabeth and Seven Deadly Sins.
Forever Gone.
Yumiko Jabami and Kakagurui.
Forever Gone.
Haley Ann on Yokai Watch on the Disney XD. That's cool. I don't know. What else am I in?
Oh.
That's all. Yeah, I'm in New Orleans. Yay!
Woo!
Okay,
Forever Gone.
Hi, I'm Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, and I directed Cowboy Bebop, the dub. I played Julia because I'm madly in love with Spike, who I'm now engaged to in real life. I sang the songs for Silent Hill. I direct Tangled the series. I played Major Motoko Kusanagi in Ghost in the Shell. I'm Governor of Nice in Star Wars Rebels. And I love oysters and walking on the beach. Taking pictures of the
But do you like pina colada?
You're really good at taking
I like that.
I'm Brina Valencia. I was Mad Moxie in Borderlands, Seal Phantom Hive and Black Butler.
Higuyoshi.
Hiyamatsu, that's a new one.
Higuyoshi.
Hideyoshi and Baku Test.
And Hosisco, Yuno.
All the things he's saying. You know, guys, sign future diary. Shirayuki. It's not with the red hair. I like it when you guys just yell my resume. It's actually, like, genuinely, it's really helpful.
Soldier 12!
I also actually, I haven't even mentioned this, which is funny because I'm here right now, but I actually shot a TV show here in New Orleans, and I lived in New Orleans for like half a year in 2013. It's a show called Starcrossed that you can still watch on Netflix. It's only 1 season, but it's kind of fun. And this is the first time that I've been back to New Orleans since then, and I didn't realize how many things I missed about this city. It's a great city, and I'm really happy to be back.
I am Mark Swint, and I am a meat popsicle.
Sounds good.
My name is Mark Swint, and I am the voice of the colleague in Street Fighter V as a Mason, as a Vector Lost. Yes, if you saw that, he does have a first name. I am Kiawe in Pokemon Sun and Moon. I am an animator currently working on a project called Property Reverse on Diesel Dust. I work with Sage on Bandit. And I am a new media and traditional media, just a guy who runs around like on fire all the time.
Specifically on fire.
Yeah.
I am on fire.
Or a living sentence.
And like not in a good way, like, you know, this guy's on fire. It's more like, oh my god, this guy's on fire!
Question!
Now I'll get up and do my job.
Alright, go! Sound in the audience. No, I just
No, make Bill one because he was late.
No. Yes, right center. Yeah. Immigration.
Okay, so taking from one of Anjali's lovely video series, I Am Fun Size. I don't know if she's asked you all this yet, but for all of you, what is some advice that you would want to give to your past selves to hear?
Dude, I haven't asked them to do the web series yet, and I totally was gonna ask them. Dude, that's okay, because we should answer it like in person, because it's really, really fun.
I do this web series where I ask people pieces of advice that they might have for their younger selves when I talk to them, knowing what you know now.
However younger that might be, it might be last year.
When Laura Bailey asks you to play Dungeons and Dragons, say yes. Otherwise, nothing. Oh, good.
Since I haven't done one of the episodes where I answer that question, I would tell my younger self to focus a lot more on the things that I am and worry a lot less about the things that I am not. Because I spent a lot of time trying to be someone else and trying to fit in and, you know, being a little brown girl who wanted to be a tall white girl, and I grew up in Orange County, California. I didn't realize that it was a recessive gene to have blonde hair. And I spent so much time trying to fit into other people's mold rather than recognizing the things that made me unique. And ultimately, where your superpower, for lack of a better term, comes from is the unique combination of things that make you you. And once I started realizing that those things were actually cool, much thanks to the reflections back on me from other people, then all of a sudden I had all this reclaimed energy that was taken away from fighting the war in my head, where I was fighting a war with myself and who I naturally was. And I think I could have reclaimed a lot of energy when I was young. So like, stay weird, stay unique to yourself.
And don't you also feel that now, at the age you are now, that we all are now, it's like now we have all of this wisdom. If any of it had changed when we were younger, we wouldn't be here.
That's exactly
we would
what
be
I
doing
was saying.
something
Yeah.
else. We would be somewhere else. So for me, like, regrets are really hard for me to grapple with because I would not be here had I changed anything in the past. Every mistake that I think I made led me to where I am right now, and what I'm doing and my own sense of self and everything else is where I am now, and it's attributed to all the actions and all the decisions that I made in the past. So I'm grateful for all the times I screwed up, because I screwed up a lot, and I doubted myself a lot, and it took all of the strength I had to get to where I am now, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without all of those learning mistakes. So get out there and fail as often as possible, because you will learn so much more from failure than you will from success. That's my
That's
take.
exactly
That's a
what
great
I
one,
was saying.
yeah. Don't be afraid of failure.
Yeah, like you said, like it's like a butterfly effect. If you change one tiny thing, I might not have been where I am right now. So yeah, there are things I look back on and I'm like, that sucked. But I mean, I would still keep it a secret from myself, I think, so that I'd have to go through it anyway. But
I was actually going to say that the advice that I would give my younger self is to keep screwing up.
Yeah.
That, like, it's just like, it's okay to screw up. That's the only way you're going to learn. Keep messing up, keep putting yourself out there, and keep getting out of your comfort zone. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, that would be my advice to my younger self. And I think anybody, really, that's my advice.
Yeah, jump out of the plane.
Take
Just do
risks.
it, you know?
Take risks.
Yeah, literally, jump out of the plane. You've got a parachute. Trust that there's a parachute. When you get to a point in your life where you're so scared that you can't do something, try it anyway. Because I think that kind of regret of, I wish I had made the decision to be brave, is more detrimental than, I regret doing that because it hurt, but I learned a lot from the hurt. I mean, I just think there's so much to be said for trying.
There's actually an acting exercise that I've done before, where it's like everybody in a circle and then you're in the center and then you have to close your eyes and just walk forward and then just trust that they'll turn you when you need to be turned and not run into a wall. And my acting coach always said, like, if you feel like you're going to hit a wall, take a bigger step. Like, don't stop. You have to keep moving. Always walk into the breakdown is what he likes to call it.
Just a Kool-Aid man through it. Oh yeah!
I don't think I have any. Oh, okay, one regret. Like when Mary tells you that red vines are awesome.
You're just making homemade candles. That's all you're doing.
Like he was like, oh, red vines are great, and I just went like, okay, but I'm from Pennsylvania, we're Hershey country, so it's hard. Yeah.
I love Twizzlers.
I think they're both disgusting.
Everyone. I do want to clear one thing up though. Right now and in that series, I am not talking about asking people what do they regret. I'm talking about what is one thing that you've learned now that you wish you knew then, or that you would tell your younger self then as if you were your child. What is something that would guide you? Because look, let's be honest, no matter how many times someone tells you something, you're going to do your own thing. So it's not going to change your path if you aren't supposed to change your path at that point. But if it might be one time that someone tells you something along the way and you don't hear it, really take it in until the 10,975th time, that's awesome. That was when you were supposed to hear it. So definitely not about regrets, because I can think of like 3 that I have, and they're kind of like the Twizzlers thing. They're kind of like the red vine thing. They're so relatively insignificant. They're all so relatively
I'm not alone.
insignificant that that it wouldn't be something that I would necessarily need to change.
That's another message. You kid by saying you're not alone. That's something that that I think more people need to hear. You're not alone. You're never alone. No matter what's happening in your life, you may think that you are on an island of pain that nobody can relate to. You're not alone. We all go through this stuff. It's the one common thread. We're all humans, and we all tend to go through the same crap. So reach out. If you're ever feeling like you're alone, reach out to someone, and I think you'll find very quickly that you are not alone, and that we are actually much better when we work together and stuff. So ask for help. That's always a big thing.
Yeah.
I think our egos get in the way of saying, oh, it's weak to ask for help. It's not. It's brave. It's courageous. And it'll help you get through stuff a lot faster.
Well, that's why vulnerability in art is so important. Like our jobs and being willing to be vulnerable in that. Like if any of you do want to go into any sort of artistic field, vulnerability is key. Because if there isn't some level of exposing the truth of yourself and the truth of life, then it's not really art. Like that's the point of art, is to bring us all together, to remind us that we're not alone and that we are all at the core the same.
We are the world.
I was going to go for more, you know.
Yes, in one shirt.
Yes. What was your first Emmy role that you ever had for each one of you?
Oh, don't turn the lights on.
Yeah,
Then we can't see you at all.
Please keep the lights up. Whoever just turned the lights down, can we turn them back
I'm
up?
blind.
Right, so.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right. This sun's orange.
You say one more time real loud?
I said, what was your first Emmy role that you ever had for each one of you?
Our first role and
First
roll?
roll 3.
Yes.
Yeah, anime.
And they roll. Okay.
I have yet to do an anime role. Calling Hollywood. No.
Well, you should try.
I did, for like 2 years, I only ever did Walla and like bit parts. Walla is like where it's like a group of actors in a booth all talking in a marketplace or like in a party or whatever. I did that for 2 years before I got my first featured character, which was Nina Tucker in Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I
Love
think
with my soul.
Walla. I think my first show I did stuff on was K-On, but it was just like Walla and like the character that was like, oh no, I didn't do homework today. But then my first actual role in an anime, I think, was Ami in Toradora. But I could be wrong. That sounds right. Sounds early. I don't know. She's my first significant role.
I think the first one, I took over for another actor for Queen Diva of the Bugroom Empire in something.
El Hazard.
El Hazard, yes. And it was
I mean, I don't know.
Thank you, inner voice that just reminded me of what that show was.
We can't help it. This microphone reads our thoughts.
It does. It's so loud. And it's funny because it was sort of like a Kate Mulgrew sort of thing. And at the time, I came to Hollywood to be on Star Trek, and I finally booked an episode of Voyager. So the last day of sickbay, I was in sickbay, and Kate Mulgrew came in, and she's like, "So how was your time on Voyager?" And I was this close to going, "It was wonderful. Thank you very much." I was doing her voice in the show, but I did it because I liked myself working, not fired. Yeah. That's what I remember, but I think the first leading role I ever had was Noriko in Fushigi, which took me 20 years to learn how to say correctly. Fushigi. Thank you.
My first role was Mason in Mass Effect Paragon Lost, where I got a call. How do you feel about Mass Effect? I don't. I play Halo. It's totally not what you want to say when you want to get a job. But yeah, that was my first time working on Funimation, and that was great because I had a sinus infection the entire time, and you don't know how much you need oxygen until you can't get it anymore. So yeah, that was my first role, and I cherish it. And the time that I got to, first time on a plane, first time on Funimation, first big anime role. It was super. It was insane, and I was like I'm alone in my hotel room dying, but then I employed stage health and mostly got through it until I had to repeat the line 15 times and nearly died.
That's awesome.
Full volume.
Sorry about the red.
I think I think it was OG in Legend of Black Head. If you know about that.
Yeah.
We were rock musicians. And we were saving the universe with our music.
That's awesome. That may right there be my favorite moment of the day. They can only go downhill after that. That was awesome. Do you have another question?
I was wondering what it's really like to be a voice actor, because I hear a lot of hearsay, like what goes on in, say, like the booth and whatnot.
Acting.
That's pretty good.
Lots of farting, especially if you're working on Halo. It really depends on what kind. If it's anime, it's usually you alone in a booth with a television in front of you and a script, either on an iPad or in paper form, and it's all queued up line per line per line. And you go line per line per line, and Funimation actually has multiple, like you can do a page at a time because they've just set up the beeps for you to be able to sort of, and you listen to that beep, 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 fourth beep, imaginary beep, you start talking. Sometimes they'll preview it in Japanese, sometimes they won't. If you're in an original animation, it's either with a cast or with a couple of people or alone, the same process, but you're not talking to the TV unless you're doing ADR on the show. And it's a wonderfully intimate process of creativity through using your voice to develop a character. And it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of precision focusing on a single character build, which is really fulfilling.
And then there's a lot of goofing around.
Yeah.
Because, like we are all having playtime. It's the director's job to kind of reel it in because time is money. But, sometimes, like in ADR, just like you get to see animation and you get to see things that are just, like you start to recognize patterns, especially with a one-line show like Pokemon, where, Professor Kukui, he's always exiting with one of the other professors that he eventually gets married to. But it's always like him, and then someone else walks out, and then they have an establishing shot of all the kids, and then just the beeps go by. It's like beep, 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 and I've got a line, and I'm sure it's important, but every time I just go, what were you two doing?
Does that sort of answer your question? I mean,
In a general
why are you in voiceover?
Yeah, that voice. You are not using the mic, and your boss will play.
I've been having trouble finding an agent of which to find work for myself.
Then obviously they can't hear you.
Yeah. I've never heard you call on the phone. See, in all seriousness, the bass range that you have is so rare. Yeah. It's so rare. Like, anytime I meet a bass, I'm like, you either need to get into opera or into voice acting right now because everyone wants to hire you.
Fun
fact.
It's so rare. I've been in 2 operas recently.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I was paid around $300 for 10 minutes on stage.
Yep.
So.
Well, yeah, they love
Yeah.
I wish I was a bass.
My main career paths would be voice acting and maybe some radio things in case that doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So.
I can't really speak to the process of getting an agent specifically, and definitely not in New Orleans, but I think you guys can chime in on this too. Because we have access to the interwebs and putting together a reel and putting together, everything seems so much more accessible to us now because of technology. I feel like this process should be a little easier for you than perhaps it might seem right now, especially with the instrument you have. It's just a matter of getting people to hear you at this point. And again, as Rena said, like that is specific to you. Not everyone will have that necessarily, that luck or that good fortune.
Yeah, anyone that sounds like us, it's going to be a lot harder.
It's a lot harder.
Much more common voice
I wish that voice came out of me.
Yeah,
Instead, can you imagine?
Yeah.
That's like why I kind of wish that Darren DePaul's voice came out of me. So that I sounded like Reinhardt from Overwatch. That would make me really happy. But yeah, don't let yourself be discouraged by. You say I can't. I've not been able to find an agent. I know this is a public forum, so I'm not going to ask you here, but I would be curious to see what avenues you've chosen and see if perhaps there's something else that you haven't thought of that can be done. Because there's always a way, and for that voice, there is 100% a way. We just have to get you there.
Yeah, and just to get comfortable behind a mic, intern at a radio station if you can. You know,
great idea.
Start there, and the minute they hear you, they're like, "What did you do?" You know, or just I could do some some like some tags or something to any or stuff. Just let me do that for free for a little while and see if you like it. And if they like what you do, I think you find that might. It takes time and endurance, but if you put yourself in a place where you will be exposed to what you want to do, I have a feeling they're going to take notice of it.
Just get your voice out there. Get your voice out there. You know?
And keep doing the opera too, because it's good for you. So,
Oh, yeah. No, it's okay. I'm used to it. It's and I'm married.
You spoke up, and I thought Bo had gone out.
Me too.
Yeah, that voice isn't coming out.
People hear your voice, they'll hire you. So just get your voice out there. Because of this media now, you can get your voice out there. People will hear it, and it'll work for you.
Oftentimes I'm at Subway, and because that's where I work. And all the time, people will come up to me and say, I really didn't expect that voice to come out of me. Are you sure there's not a 40-year-old black man standing right behind you? And I always have to turn to them and say, I'm pretty sure this has been going on for more than 2 years. So, I'm pretty sure it's
Wait, dude, can I just hire you out for all the people who keep telling me, like, well, your voice is just too deep for that role?
Yeah, it's not just deep. Your voice is not just deep. It's resonant.
Yes.
The resonance is really special. So get it out there. Let people hear you.
Start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just make a YouTube channel
Maybe a
where
YouTube channel of you just reading poetry.
Okay, we had a question.
Deep thoughts.
Yes. I just want to say thank you guys for coming to New Orleans. It's really nice to see voice actors and cosplayers. I've never actually got a chance to see the people behind voices that I like and appreciate. So it's really cool. And especially Miss Anjali, I really love your role as Symmetra. I think you did a really good job.
Is it weird seeing the people behind the voices?
Not for me because I'm an artist and I like for streaming on Twitch. So I don't have a face cam or anything. So for me, I know what it's like to just be a voice. And so it's really cool seeing people that it's similar in that way, in that aspect. It's just really cool seeing you guys. It's not weird or anything to me, but maybe for other people it might be a little weird, but I'm used to it, so.
Yeah. Sometimes it's if you God forbid, or if you ever get recognized or something. Steve, my fiance Steve Bloom gets recognized because he was on Logic's album and for other things, but they also say, oh, you're the voice of Gilman, and this grown man all of a sudden does this cute little voice, and I can see these little kids so sometimes it's weird to see wow, I had no idea that voice could come out of someone. I think he's getting an agent right now.
Welcome to MechaCon. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
Yeah. So great.
This has been super fun. Yeah.
Batman, next question.
What's your favorite portrayal that you've ever done in character?
That we've worked on ourselves. When do we feel like we nailed it?
It's what's your favorite child?
Yeah.
Oh no, it's easy. I have plenty of favorites. I know for me, one of my favorites to do is Ciel Phantom Hive, just because he's really difficult, to do because of the fact that he's so emotionally damaged, and also the accent and the fact that it's a boy voice. It's like there's so many things going on with that character that make it to where like I cannot fall asleep on the job with that role. It's like he keeps me super engaged. I kind of felt the same way about Ino Gasai in Future Diary too. Even though she doesn't have the accent or anything, it was just kind of like she's just so intense and there's so much going through her brain all the time. It's just like always on edge. But I like anything that makes me, that challenges me in that way tends to be one of my favorites. Although at the same time I do love characters like Natsuki in Summer Wars, which was just like, just me talking. It's kind of nice sometimes to have a little break. Yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely have a favorite right now. It's Kiyoe. Because, you know, I grew up on anime, and you know, I grew up a G-Gundam fan. Because Domokashu is insane. And he was one of the last of the insane hot-blooded heroes once upon a time. And I just thought, like, I don't know, sounding like this, I'll never have my own hot-blooded hero because everyone just wants me to sound like this. And, or, you know, Angry Monster Man. So when I got that, I was going through the copy, and all of a sudden it's that we have new mechanics for this game, so we have to, you know, really push those in the show. He has his Z ring with a Z crystal, and he's really like religious about it, and he prays to his gods, and he just goes absolutely insane with this dance and this speech. And I'm just looking through it, and I look at my director, and I go, like, I get my own Domokashu speech? Really? Oh my God, I've been waiting for this forever. So that instantly became my favorite, because I don't know if I'll ever have another hot-blooded hero ever again, like quite to that insane old school level. So I think that he's going to hold a place near and dear to my heart for quite some time.
Actually, with I was thinking along with like what everybody else is like, you know, there's so many roles, but that Mark said hot-blooded hero. I actually don't usually I'm usually the sidekick in a lot of shows, so there is a show on Amazon Prime called Robot Trains, which is geared towards like the 5 to 8-year-old set, but it's really fun because I got to play Kay, the lead in that, who is the hot-blooded hero. And it's all these little nonsensical issues where it's not really that bad, but he gets like really fired up about it. He's like, "We've got to stop this now!" And he does like this like Goku type of thing where he just like charges up his train. And I had so much fun working on those episodes because it's like I don't get to do a lot of those like really cool heroic type of characters. So I totally know what you're talking about, Mark.
Yeah. One of my new favorites is Haley Ann on Yokai Watch. She's freaking adorable, and she's super nerdy. She's like reading manga and a lot of the stuff. And I'm like, I love BT so much, tiny girl. And she's like, you know, the main character Nate of the show. He has a Yokai Watch, and then Haley Ann's like the second person to get one on the at least that we've seen. And any other kid would be like, "This is amazing! I can see yokai now." And she's just like, "You're not an alien, so I don't care." I'm like, oh, she's cool. I like her so much. She talks a mile a minute. It's super fun. I have to be like super high energy the whole time.
I love, to be honest, I mean, Governor Price in Star Wars was just, I never thought I would ever be a part of that universe. And to play someone that was so evil and awful and sort of the first female governor for the Empire, you know, your opening scene is you walk in and you talk to Grand Moff Tarkin, and I was like, I don't know how I got here, but just don't wake me up, you know. That was something special. Season 4 of Star Wars Rebels comes out on DVD on Tuesday, so get out there and check it and binge it, kids, because it's a beautiful ending. Dave Filoni got to tell an incredible story, so if you're Star Wars fans, check it out. It's awesome.
I did a project called Angel Wars years ago, and my primary character was Swift, and he was a deep voice guy. But they also wanted me to do another character, and so I had the opportunity to talk.
It was very unusual for me because I always did the deep voice guys.
But that was really enjoyable because, you know, been kind of typecast. So to do a character that was totally against what I'm, or contrary to what I'm known for doing was a lot of fun.
I think my favorites change based on what I'm nostalgic for at any given moment. Because my voice acting roles are pretty limited in number, I have to turn today to a stage role that I got to play that we finally got to. I've been working on a play with a playwright for a long time now, and we did an out-of-town tryout with the hope of a future production, a commercial production on Broadway or off-Broadway, called Roof of the World. And the role is the character of Safia Das, who is a young Indian woman who has been masquerading as a young boy for the longest time, and she's a spy for the British Empire in India. And she falls in love with a British explorer named George Hayward, and the whole show is basically watching as she attempts to save his life during his adventures, and essentially save him from himself. So during the course of this play, I got to be, and I will get to be again, completely dressed as a Buddhist monk, swinging from ropes, sword fighting, then switched to complete Victorian garb, and trying to be an Indian woman in the year 1870 in London, which the only thing I can describe in our experience here in history that's similar to that is trying to be a black person during the age of slavery here in the States. So it's a very extreme, it's a social political commentary, it's a love story, it's an adventure, and she's been such a part of my life for so long now that even when we're not doing the play, I feel like I live with her somewhere inside me. Because her bravery comes from never having a home until she finds that person, and then all of a sudden she knows what home is and she will do anything to preserve it. And that's something that felt very innate to my being. So yes, I'll show you pictures. It's pretty in LA. Well, we'll talk. We'll talk about it. We'll talk.
We need audience members to test it out on.
Yes, no, clearly. I mean, I can do the solo version. It's just not as fun. There's no gorgeous British man to run after, and it's hard for me to swim from ropes. I can swim from the chandelier. I can do it, but yeah, no, I can take it.
Yes,
I can do it once, and then never again.
Are you going to shave your head?
No, very purposefully, no.
Okay.
Because because there is a scene where she reveals herself to be a woman. And she wears it in a turban. Because, these are the monks that live. I'm giving you all this information that you may or may not want. They're here. These were the Pundit monks during the 1870s that the British basically conscribed Indian people to serve as spies, because in the region they were trying to map, no white man could get through without dying, without being killed, basically. So they conscribed Indians under the British Empire to masquerade as monks or traders or something like that, anything like that. But they would disavow any knowledge of them if anything went wrong. So basically they were serving a queen that they never asked for, with no protection. So the question is, why did they do it? And she has a very specific reason in the play. And you'll have to see it to read it to know the deal. Yes, that's all part of my plan. Coming to the Broadway in 2021. I'm like, yo, we ever do this, I'm gonna need a walker. Well, that's not gonna make this happen. But it was tremendous fun, and I loved her very much.
It's so Shakespearean, though.
It is so Shakespearean. And what's lovely about it too, and I think this speaks to a lot of the projects that we were all talking about all weekend, is it is a world you want to be a part of, even though there's darkness in it. It's a beautiful story told in a beautiful way, and a lot of times, especially with television and film, but also with theater in today's day and age, it's a lot about people treating each other badly, or the darkness in the world, and it's not necessarily as full of promise as some of the more romantic stories. Not only romantic as in love romantic, but romantic as in the world can be beautiful despite tragic things happening. And you want to step into that world where you feel big things and you do big things, because life should be big. There's no reason to be small. I mean, you can physically. Yeah. You're more than welcome to be small. I'm a great time doing it. I'm comfortable on planes. But there's no reason to live small. Feel all the big things. Happy, incredibly sad, feel it all. Let yourself feel it and move through it and have those experiences. And we don't have a lot of examples of that in our world that are where everything is that great. And I like that kind of stuff. I kind of dig it.
This one might be pretty difficult, but in all of your voice acting careers, is there a favorite line that you have delivered, whether funny or inspirational? And if you do have one, would you mind reciting it?
Long live the Empire.
I love my new ultimate in Overwatch. Yahi param vastavika hai! Because it's like one of the most powerful ultimates in the game, I mean, vocally. And this is a character who doesn't show her emotion very much. And it is such a powerful statement. And it's in Hindi. When do we get to hear Hindi and Brazilian and, Portuguese and what does she speak? And they, China. And when we hear all these different languages in a game in powerful, beautiful ways. And so I'm really happy that that's out there. Because there are a lot of Indian people in the world. It's kind of nice that they finally have a worldwide, I mean, obviously they're going to in other countries and stuff like that, but it feels good to have such a powerful depiction of an Indian female who is on the spectrum. Saying this is the ultimate reality I'm creating. Yes. 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 That's what our next voice is going to be. Yes. Right after.
Yes.
Go.
Mine's really similar to that. It's
So I got these sticky balls.
So similar.
That's so powerful. Especially
I'm pretty partial to Sir Meliodas in Some of the Listens, because I say it 5 million times. At first I hated it because of that, and now it's just, I love it so much. I want to say it all the time.
I have a couple. One is bell peppers and beef.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other is, who am I anyway? That's when Jeff was stoned and talking to his mindset. He was communing with his tree.
Well, you know, we're talking about different voices and ranges and things coming out of, you were saying about Steve, and a lot of people will be like, wow, okay, because Brock's not too far out of my regular register, so people are like, oh, what's the Brock voice? I'm like, well, you know, it's a little deeper than this, but the thing about it that excites people is that then I go, Nurse Joy, Officer Jenny, I can't decide! And people are like, okay.
Do you guys ever find yourself doing your lines, like, kind of to entertain yourself in public situations? Like, I can see you doing that when you're, like, at the supermarket trying to get something. Milk! Eggs! I can't decide! I totally see you doing that.
Wait, bread fry? I don't know!
Yeah.
We got this guy at the store.
Hysterical.
I'm usually as quiet as possible when I'm out at like the store or something.
Gotcha.
I don't want to talk to anyone. Talk all day in the booth, I'm like, I don't want to talk to anyone. Yeah.
I'm just one of those people that I memorize lines really, really quickly, but the second I'm done with them, they're out.
Me
Like
too.
I did Autobahn, which is like a collection of like just adult monologues or like duet pieces or whatever that all take place in a car. And mine was just a 15-minute monologue. Had no problem memorizing it, never had any issues with lines throughout the run of the show. The second, literally 2 days after we closed, somebody asked me to do the monologue, and I was like, sure.
And it's
It's out.
That's so healthy, though. You retain that hard drive space.
Yeah.
Have too many lines left over.
All right, done with that. Move on.
Yeah.
I have movie quotes.
Not
movies that I've never been in. Constant movie quotes from when I was a kid.
I forget movies instantly.
I don't. I have like meatballs, the movie meatballs. You know, somebody can. Yeah, that's true.
The only movie I can quote is Coming to America because I watch it every year.
Yeah. But you know, if someone's indecisive, I'm like, come on, Morty, make up your mind. You know, I mean, it's just, and people look at me like, who's Morty? And I said, oh, no, my brain is Rick and Morty. Yeah. My brain is a library of movie quotes, and I don't know why. Because I can't remember any of the lyrics to the Silent Hill songs, ever. And I no clue. But I can remember, you know, you're going to need a bigger boat, or, you know, it's just, this is an huge.
Yeah, half of my communication with other people is just quotes from the show Friends. I mean, yeah, you know, if someone's carrying something up the stairs, I'm like, pivot! And they're like,
I'm kind of like that with Seinfeld.
Yeah.
So, my son and I were Seinfeld moment, right? I did a film years and years ago called Night Shift with Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton. It was Michael Keaton's first film. And we had this scene where I was a stakeout, I was a cop at a club, and he comes over and he says, now this was like in 1980, he says, you gentlemen seem to be unencumbered by female companionship. How would you like to be cumbered? I remember that, I mean, it was such a brilliant line, and Michael was just, as before he did, you know, Batman became this dark human being. He used to be a really fun guy, but it was one of those things, I don't know if you know this setup in Night Shift. They were pimping and running a prostitution ring out of the morgue. Obviously, it was a comedy. And,
this was the 80s, guys. Don't shout.
Yeah, right. You know, don't blame me. You know, I just lived in it. You know, but yeah, it was. Remember that. I'm gonna test you.
That voice acting was something that you wanted to pursue, and was there anything that was like holding you back from doing it?
Like 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I don't know, I don't know what's happened. Like, I didn't really, it was another there's another branch of the tree, as I like to say, that I didn't quite realize was available to me. And then once I started doing it, I was like, how did I not? Duh! Like, why would you not have known? Were you not paying attention? Because obviously there's animation, and obviously there are games, and there are human beings talking in them, so why did you not know? So the only, for me, real barrier to that was, oh, okay, you need to do it. Like, go do it. Rather than just not know that it exists. Or not, just do it, like Maggie. That was my big thing, like, oh, I get to do that? Oh, awesome. Yeah.
And I think I realized it was a real thing like 9 or 8 years ago, and then started doing it like 7. As soon as I realized, I was like, okay. And then I had to like really focus and kind of changed all of my focus onto it. That's how important it is. It was really important to focus. Yeah. I don't know. Obstacles, I guess, were when I was first starting. I was, there were a lot of moments where I was like, am I crazy? Like, is this really a thing that I can do and like make it viable as a career? And maybe I should do like my parents were like, acting's like a below the line entertainment job. What about like directing or producing? That's an above the line entertainment job. And I was like, I don't know. But I like the below the line thing, so whatever.
Live below the line.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like, what's this line that you've invented?
I actually had, so when I was in high school, I was a really big Dragon Ball Z fan, and there was a group of us that would watch Dragon Ball Z after school every day. And one of the people that went to my high school, their uncle worked at Funimation, and they were able to get us a tour one day. And Chris Sabat was actually in the booth at the time. He's supporting Piccolo, who's my favorite character. And I just remember watching him and thinking like, this is so dope. Like, I really want to do this someday. I really want to do this someday. And so when I graduated high school, that's when I went to Funimation. And I was like, how do you do auditions here? And I got on a wait list or whatever, which at that time was only like 2 months, I think, and now it's like 2 years unless you have an agent, so it was kind of right at the right time. But I also apparently had this thought whenever I was in 3rd grade, because I came across an old journal of mine in 3rd grade where our teacher would ask us a question and we'd have to write a page answering that question. And she asked us what we wanted to be when we grew up, and I wrote that I wanted to be a voice actor. But I don't remember ever writing that. Yeah, but it was definitely me writing it. She's like, I want to be a voice actor. And I loved cartoons, and I remember always mimicking them, but I apparently have always wanted to be a voice actor.
Yeah, I told my mom that when I was 9, and she said, that's not a real job. And I said, okay.
She yelled it from the other room.
That's not a real job. I think she didn't stop laughing. And she's like,
This is where you're not supposed to be a voice actor.
that's not a real job. Thanks, Mom. Yeah. Your wisdom is appreciated.
I have a split focus. You know, I started in New York on stage, and I went to Hollywood to be, an actor. And at that time, voice acting really wasn't a thing. And so I kind of like stumbled and fumbled into it. Friends asked me to do it, and lo and behold. Cowboy Bebop was I think the one that kind of opened it up for me and made me realize that this can be a very rewarding part of my career and part of my life. And cut to 20 years later, that now I'm having the opportunity to interact with you guys and to share and absorb your love. And this is like the best part of my professional life, is doing conventions where I get to interact with you guys. It's just the best. It really is.
Well, I was going to say, for me, actually, it kind of harkens back. I didn't really say anything before because you guys mostly covered it when you were talking about going back and talking to your past self. I think really the only thing I would have said was to try starting a little earlier, because much like Erica, it was a situation where when I was in high school and college, I was doing some theater and I liked doing it, but I was getting a lot of, that's not a job type of thing. So it wasn't until I was 25 and working and just like not really happy with what was going on in my life that I started taking night classes for acting and started doing a lot of community theater and started doing that. And then along the way, I mean, I always loved, cartoons and animation. Like when people come to get my autograph, like sometimes I'll sketch like a little rock on there, like, oh wow, I'm like, no, trust me, I wanted to be a cartoonist at one point, and I was like, I'm not good enough. I could do a little doodle on somebody's picture, but that's it. But the thing was, I really took to acting, and it wasn't until I was 25, so I would have like gone back and be like, maybe don't doubt yourself so earlier in life, and I mean, but that was the thing. So from there, when voice acting became a thing, it was just like, okay, yeah, I would love to do that. And I just, I was doing stage because it was a lot of fun, but when like Headline Studios was the first one to take a chance on me, I was like, oh my God, I can do this. That's great. That's awesome. So yeah.
It's crazy how many people will be like, acting's not a real job. They all watch movies. They all watch plays. I remember I went to a Catholic all-girls school when I was growing up. And then my younger sister was in some competition, so I went back right after I changed my major to theater in college, and I sat down